It is the Labor Day weekend spectacular of the Mike Sasson Show, brought to you by the working man. We are the spokespeople for the working men and women of beautiful internet radio land. My name is Mike Sasson. Over there is Alex Clemens, the greatest producer in the history of internet radio. Again, first ballot Internet Radio Hall of Famer. If you ever want to visit the Internet Radio Hall of Fame, it is currently right outside of Cedar Point, that big amusement park in Sandusky, Ohio, right next to an abandoned Speedway USA. Make sure you bring the kids plenty of money to get t-shirts for grandma. Also, in this beautiful episode of the Mike Sasson Show, broadcast always on the River's Edge, where you get the best local music and the best talk at www.riversedgepgh.com. On this beautiful episode, we're going to be going over summer 2018. Also, a very unusual occurrence on television at the U.S. Open. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to yell at the people who put on the U.S. Open tennis tournament to stop doing this. Also, we're going to be doing with fresh eyes because it is Labor Day weekend. I tried to pick the most working man favorite musician on the planet Earth, and I think I hit the nail right on the head. And of course, is the boss, Bruce Springsteen. I had Alex watch some Bruce Springsteen videos, and I think she saw a little cameo of a favorite actress of hers. Yes, that video. So we'll be talking about that. Also, lots of great, wondrous things. We're going to be interviewing Krish, Mohan, and Liss Victory. They, again, are coming back to Pittsburgh. They've been all over the place. If you follow them on Facebook, every 2 days they're in some unbelievable locale that I really up until this point didn't think existed. Like they're sitting outside of a Best Western in South Dakota. I'm like, oh my God, there actually is a South Dakota. Until that moment, I wasn't 100% sure that there was a South Dakota. Turns out there is. They had visited it, and we're going to talk to them about it because they're going to be coming back to Pittsburgh this weekend, September 8th, 7 p.m. at the Great Ham Bones Bar. Performance space now. Eventually, it's going to become a comedy club on the weekends now. Burning Bridges with John Dick Winters and Derek Minto will be putting that on, so every weekend you can watch great comedy, and this weekend you can watch great comedy with them because they're going to be performing. Derek Minto is going to be performing. Our own Brian Crawford is going to be emceeing it, the godfather of the River's Edge, so it's going to be a tremendous. And also Sister Sheena and the Shadow Puppets will be there, so it's going to be an amazing event, and they'll be talking about it in about a half hour. Again, if you want to watch the Mike Sasson Show, all you have to do is watch us on Facebook Live or on YouTube after the fact. Or if you want to listen to us, again, you can listen to us at www.riversedgepgh.com or on any of the podcast formats. After the fact, you can listen to us on Google Play, iTunes, or SoundCloud. Alex, how has your Labor Day weekend been going?
LDW. That's Labor Day weekend.
I know, everything's a thing where I need 90% of the time someone puts something on social media, they're like, oh, I was just at Starbucks, QTY, and I'm just like, what the hell does that mean?
I don't know what that means.
Neither did I. I just made it up right now. But half of them are just QTW, quality timing water. And I'm just like, oh, okay, just write that. But apparently there's lots of little codes that you have to learn. LDW. That's like a new band will come out and I won't know them and they'll be really whatever. But you've had a wondrous summer, right?
Yeah.
You had a great weekend. I saw you were at Club Cafe listening to a tremendous musician.
I was, yes.
Who was that you were listening to?
Sawyer Fredericks. He was on The Voice. My family's kind of obsessed with The Voice.
Okay.
And so we went to see him. He's like a small child. He's not a small child. He's like 19. I don't know. He's just like a very small human. And he has a pretty amazing voice for...
Such a small human.
Yeah. I mean, for anyone, really, but especially because he's a small human.
Now, the Club Cafe is a smaller venue. Were you able to meet him afterwards?
We didn't stay to meet him afterwards. We, said hi to him as he was going. When we went outside, he, walked back in. We were like, oh, I really loved your stuff. And he's like, thanks.
I don't know. I was watching your Instagram page. He seemed, I don't know. I mean, I think one of the things that I found out because of my musical taste from the 80s and 90s.
Terrible music taste.
Is that I need sensory overload. I need loudness. I need fire.
It's weird because you wouldn't think that. I feel like a lot of people now are kind of like that. But I'm the opposite of that. I want just very basic. I want that person to just be playing their guitar right in front of me and, no one be around me. And that's it.
So you're not a huge fan of like giant music festivals where there's like 100,000 people and everyone's bumping to like some
No.
incredible superstar, megastar
Yeah.
playing the hits.
I almost didn't get a seat at Club Cafe, and that would have like mildly ruined my night.
You would have left.
No,
You'd have gone to Jack's and gotten wasted.
I did
Anyway.
do.
Yeah, you did that anyway. But so that was interesting. I mean, I would say that, again, tremendous voice, but I guess I need more of a performer in my music. I need a guy or a woman who could just sit up there and just belt out a tune, but then afterwards, explosions. I need more explosions in my music.
I don't ever want explosions ever.
I would go up to him and be like, here's the deal. I love the sound, but have you ever thought about adding some explosions? That would have been my hint. Been like explosions, maybe a costume change, maybe, kind of just fire. Just breathe fire. Light yourself on fire. Nikki Sixx did from Motley Crue. Look where he got. Top of the charts.
Yeah, I don't ever want that in my performers.
Okay. You don't want them to light themselves on fire?
I just want them to play their music and then leave.
You leave and stay poverty-stricken.
No. There's performers that don't have explosions that do okay with their lives.
I don't want okay.
Poverty-stricken.
I want them to fly in a jet like Led Zeppelin did.
I don't want that.
I want them to like literally fly. I want the next great band to take a space like ship to fly to places. I want them to live on another planet.
I just want people to enjoy their music.
I don't know.
And then make me enjoy their music. But the rest of the weekend was really nice too. I hate this time of year, to be honest.
Why is that?
I've had this conversation so many times today, but
not with me, and that's the most important. You were gearing up to this one.
Yeah, definitely. But I just hate it because I always feel like this is the kind of time of year where it's like, yeah, it's the unofficial end of summer. So I'm always like, oh my God, I didn't do enough with my summer. Like I wasn't outside enough, and I didn't do anything crazy fun. And then
what? What would you have done?
I don't know. That's the thing. I realize that it's a stupid thought to have.
You are all over the place. If you ever watch her, follow her on Instagram, you're all over the place. You're always outside. You're in parks. You're at beer festivals.
It just seems like I could always be doing more. I think it's just to not have a complete summer off and then try and also do things at the same time. You're like, I didn't get to relax at all. Anytime that I had a day off, I had to go out and do something.
That's called adulthood. That's one thing about.
I just want to sit outside and do nothing.
That's the thing about being, an adult is
sucks.
Summer. When you were a kid, summer was just all right, for the next 2 months, I ain't got to do shit.
Yeah.
But now when you're an adult, again, it really doesn't change anything.
No.
The only thing is it's a lot hotter. So with me, it's a lot more sweat. I love the fall. Again, football starts up, and that's about it. No, and then also the weather. The perfect fall day, a crisp 62 degree. The leaves have turned. When those type of days happen, I can't get enough of them. Those are some great days, and I'm looking forward to those kind of great days.
See, I love seasons, and I love the fall. I just I don't like a lot of things that have to go along with the fall.
Mm-hmm.
I work more in the fall, and I can't
football,
go out.
because the Steelers.
Yeah,
and
I can't go outside as much, and then holidays, and
I know.
Oh,
I hate the summer.
People getting pumpkin spice lattes and shit.
Well, you don't like the pumpkin spice latte?
I don't like pumpkin flavored things.
I don't even think it's pumpkin flavored. It's just a flavor, and they were just all right, it smells kind of.
Well, it's like a pumpkin
fall-y.
pie flavor. I went to a coffee shop the other day and had to order a pumpkin spice latte for someone. And the girl explained to me that people don't like pumpkin flavor; they like pumpkin pie flavor.
Which means, which is just sugar, but pumpkin pie is just sugar and all that kind of good
little
stuff.
Spices.
Yeah. Are you a fan of pumpkin pie?
Yeah, I love pumpkin pie.
Okay.
I just don't want everything that I have to taste like that.
But it's coming.
I just want a pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving, and then I'm done.
Maybe you should just eat more pie.
I love pie.
Well, eat more of it. That's what I'm saying.
I love key lime pie, blackberry pie.
Yeah.
I love all those.
I know. We should have the Mike. They have beer festivals. We should have the Mike Sasson Pie Festival.
Oh, and then people
bring pies from all over the freaking world, and
we have pie wrestling contests.
Maybe have pie judging contests, have pie eating contests, all sorts of pie related activities.
I'm just trying to incorporate naked people into our pie
Well,
extravaganza.
I know, but like the people that eat the pies can be naked.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean, you could make it in a nudist colony, and everyone could be walking around eating the pies while fully naked.
I could see that. I think I enjoyed that.
Here's the problem with nudity. Only about, like, I'd say the top 5% of people that work out consistently are people that I want to see naked. The other percent, I'm like, you know what? There's a reason why we invented clothes.
I love everyone naked.
Really? Even the chubbiest, stretchiest humans in the world?
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's nice for people to feel free.
But they're not going to be
It's
feel
not
free.
necessarily things that I want to like look at all the time.
But you're just happy that they're
I'm
able
happy
to.
for them.
Yeah. You're like, hey, good for you.
I think about other people.
No, I don't. I think
Yeah.
about me and my joy.
Yeah.
That's how I do it. Speaking of me and my joy, U.S. Open. There's a famous Seinfeld episode where George Costanza is at the U.S. Open tennis tournament in New York City, which the funny thing about the U.S. Open, it used to be a lot more of an important sporting event like 20 years ago when Americans were good at it. I mean, like when you had, Connors and McEnroe and then eventually Pete Sampras and Andre Agassi.
Yeah.
Now it's a bunch of people from countries you never heard of. And so really outside of New York City, nobody really gives a shit. And so it's really one of those sporting. If you ever want to know what golf would have been like if Tiger Woods never would have existed, essentially tennis is it. It's liked by like half a dozen people outside of the city of New York or Los Angeles, and then but the thing is the one I'm getting to the point of is they still broadcast it all over the place, ruining television.
I just watched it the other day.
I know. I don't know why you did. Why did you?
I was at a bar.
Okay.
And that's typically the only time I watch sports. And I was watching it, and I paid more attention to all of the people that were on the court that weren't the players than the actual players.
I know, because the sport itself is not.
So interesting. They have like 15 people on the court that aren't the players
I
to
know.
do random little shit.
I know. I mean, it's weird. I mean, again, it's a sporting event that they want to get to the action, which is the people hitting the ball across the net. So again, that's like the whole Seinfeld episode where Kramer wanted to be the guy the ball boy who would get the ball and all that kind of stuff. That's cool. I would admit that's a cool thing. The sport itself, not a huge fan. But one of the things they did this year, again, they just showed a clip on Facebook of a woman. She had a giant chicken tender.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
And they show her on television, and she dips the chicken tender in her soda, and then takes a bite of the chicken tender. And in the headline ESPN put on, it goes, "Well, this just happened," and I'm sitting there going, this woman doesn't even know. She's probably still at the sporting event. She's not going to know probably. Well, someone probably texted her or something like that going, "Hey, the whole world's laughing at you because they saw you dipping a chicken tender in a soda." But here's my thing. They do this at Pirate games too because, again, nothing much is happening. So they watch just people just shoveling nachos into their mouths and stuff like that. So here's what I'm saying to the TV people out there. Stop recording people eating. It's not what you want. You dropped something, didn't you?
Yeah.
We'll go get it. I'll stop.
It's so difficult.
I know. Go. Don't worry about it. Anyways, I'm talking to the producers of the world. Stop. No one looks good while eating. No one looks like. Have you ever looked at a dude and just been like, "Look at him eating those cheese fries. What a hot dude." No one looks good while eating. It's not.
I don't know. Have you ever seen me eat wings?
Yeah, and it's honestly, do you notice I go to the other end of the room?
Beautiful. Is that what you meant to say?
No, I meant to say that you eat like you have like it's like the wings owe you money. That's how much you devour those wings.
I did. So I watched someone today eat fried chicken, and they ate like all of it. Like they ate some of the little bones. Just like crunch, crunch, crunch.
I know. No one looks good while eating.
And I was like, that's interesting. I don't know.
What are some of the most annoying eating habits?
All of them, because I don't like to hear people chew.
Okay, so again, you're on team don't record people eating.
Yeah, but I don't know if I'm looking at a news article and it's just like some lady dipping a chicken tender. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, in a soda, and so everyone's laughing at her, going, "Ha ha, you're wrong and stupid," and everyone hates you.
I want to know what kind of soda it was. Did they report on that?
Yeah, it was like a Pepsi or something.
Or something. I want to know specifically because what if she's onto something?
She's onto nothing.
Well, I mean, what if I've never tried my chicken tenders in a soda and I should be doing that?
No, you shouldn't be trying it at all. It would just make your...
How do you know that?
Because
Have you ever tried that?
I've
No.
spilled soda on top of things and it didn't make the food better.
I don't know. I think we should try it before
I will
we
no,
judge it.
no, I will completely mock her until the day I die. But one thing I will say, here are some of my most annoying food faux pas. I don't like people who don't eat the crust on pizzas.
Oh, yeah. They're always kind of shitty people.
I know they just eat, and then there's just like a pile of like delicious crusts in the box, and you're just like, those are amazing. You should be eating those.
But sometimes I like those people because then I get to eat the delicious
You
crust.
would eat someone else's crust? I mean,
Hell yeah.
that's been in their mouth. That's like eating like a half-eaten cookie from somebody.
I do a lot worse.
I know you do a lot worse. But okay, so that's an annoying thing. All right, I don't mind it if you ask me, if like you sit there and you go, oh, that looks interesting, and I give you like a little piece, that's fine. But you have to ask.
Right.
I don't like the people that just put the fork right into it and be like, and then in the process, they'd be like, hey, can I? I'm like, you already put your fork in, which, by the way, was probably in your mouth already, and now you just dipped it into my pasta. Not a huge fan of that. There's a couple. Can you think of any other that are? I know you think everything's annoying.
Everything is annoying.
What is the most annoying, though? I just named two. Give me one.
I don't know. People chewing chips. That's the worst thing in the world to me.
Really? It's just the sound?
I mean, the sound of everything chewing, but I feel like chips are typically the worst.
Are you, which type of
like
chip?
Kettle chips? Ugh. I love kettle chips. I don't want to hear people chew them.
Because they're just
Get
too
out
crunchy.
of my face.
They're just too crunchy.
Yeah.
They go nuts with the crunch.
And it makes...
That, by the way, that's a great slogan for somebody who sells kettle chips. Nuts with the crunch. Boom. Win. Victory. Do it.
It makes me feel like a bad person, like a mean person.
I mean, you are a bad person.
Because I point it out to people, and I get very annoyed with people because people will come and I'm like sitting there doing something, and they come up to me, and they don't realize that they're chewing in my ear, but I look at them, and I give them a mean look, and they're like, what? I'm like, you're literally chewing in my ear, and then they think I'm mean. It's like, no, maybe you should be a more polite person.
How should someone eat kettle chips around Alex?
16 miles away from me.
Okay, then you are a mean person. You have to. It's like if there's a crying baby next to you, you don't sit there and start staring at the mom and be like, those are the worst people in the world. You do that when someone sits there and like as their baby's crying, you just go, be a parent.
Can we get this child out of here?
Yeah. Someone should hit something.
I usually just leave.
Really?
Yeah.
What if you can't leave?
I don't know. I put some earplugs in.
I would say one of the most annoying things in the world is when it's at your job and a parent just lets their kid just run and destroy things, and you're the one kind of going, hey, can you parent the kid?
I used to work at Picture People, so I know all about that. Kids used to throw shit at me while I was taking their picture.
And the parent would be like,
yeah, like, oh, don't do that, Tommy. And they're just like, whoa.
That's why I think Alex was talking to me off air about this. Alex, you're big into just 5 across the eyes. Boom, slap.
Right.
Just, hey, teach them some manners. That's how you do it old school. The belt. Bam.
Sure.
I know. You're not supposed to do that. The Mike Sasson Show is not for corporal punishment.
Violence.
Violence to children. Violence with young children is what you need to have.
Just violence in general.
Violence and
explosions and violence.
That you weren't you were a couple minutes against me lighting explosions for my music, and now all of a sudden you're just you're explosion crazy.
No.
Okay, you were being facetious.
Facetious.
One more thing I just want to go over. I'm not happy with my phone's performance. When do you know you need a new phone? You don't get a new phone until like your phone literally just crumbles in your hand.
Yeah, I'm poor. I can't afford new phones.
Mine's not giving me the performance.
I know that it's my fault always with my performance of my phone because I have 60 million videos on it.
I know.
So it's not working because I have no memory.
I know, but I demand excellence out of my phone. And I'm getting bad performance. Go to the store and say,
I demand excellence.
Yeah, I demand excellence from my phone.
See what they give you.
I know. Well, let me ask you this question. I have known you for now close to, I think, 5 years. I've never known you never to have a phone that didn't have a cracked phone.
Yeah, it's usually for about a week or so.
Why don't you get a protective case?
I always have one for about a week or so.
And then what happens?
And then I get so annoyed with it because, like, shit doesn't work properly or, like, I can't put it in my pocket or, like, I don't know. It's just annoying. Something doesn't work with it. And then I'm just like, fuck this. And then I can't, like, my phone has this beautiful, beautiful gold background. And I can't show it off if there's a case on it. So, like, what's the point of me getting a gold phone if I have a stupid, gross black case on it?
Here's the deal. There was no purpose of you getting a gold phone.
There was. I thought it was beautiful.
I know, but
and
it was.
I can see my reflection in it.
It's meant to. No. You have to protect it. See this phone? No scratches.
Yeah, but it's not giving you the performance you want. So what's the difference?
I know, but it's been with me for like 5 years. I need to get rid of it. It's like a 6.
You have not had that for 5 years.
It's an S6.
That's what I have, and I have not had it for 5 years.
I know. I need what are they up to 9 now?
Probably.
I need to get a 9. That's what I gotta get.
Yeah, I mean, mine's cracked, but it still works probably just the same as yours does.
I know. I'm not a big fan.
Don't diss my cracks.
I'm not a big fan. You know what I am a big fan of? I'm a big fan of Bar Thoughts and Experiences, which is right after this. And then we are going to interview Liss Victory and Krish Mohan for their beautiful show at Hambones this Saturday, the 8th of September, as they come back 7 p.m. from their transcontinental excursions. It is the Mike Sasson Show. We'll be right back.
Brian Crawford letting you know that Kevin Slogic, my State Farm agent in Allison Park, is here to help life go right and reminds you that you're listening to the River's Edge Radio Network.
Come on, go! It's green! Come on! Go!
God damn it, Brian. You need to calm down
I'm
with the road
sick
rage.
of these people, these assholes.
It's the road rage, man. You gotta calm down on the road rage.
Well, I want to get to where we're going. We have a lot of great stuff coming up. We're going to Falling Water,
Bicycle Heaven.
the Mattress Factory,
Tuck Knob.
Trundle Manor. All right, which way do I go? Which way do I go? Come
right,
on, come on.
Right.
Too late now.
Right, come on.
Well, too late now. I got to keep going. I'm not going to sit here like some asshole.
Oh, come on, man.
All right, you're listening to the Culture Cruise. You can find us at riversedgepgh.com.
Your local Pittsburgh area museum podcast.
Yes, riversedgepgh.com, and come take a ride with us.
It is the Mike Sasson Show. We are broadcasting live at Mr. Small's studio in beautiful Millvale, Pennsylvania. Again, listening to the best local music and the best talk at www.riversedgepgh.com. Now, right now, hopefully, if technology worked, we have on the phone from someplace probably very interesting, we have Krish Mohan and Liss Victory, who this Saturday at Hambones at 7 p.m. So September 8th, this Saturday, Hambones, 7 p.m. It's going to be their transcontinental homecoming. They've been everywhere in the country, but now they're back in the beautiful city of Pittsburgh. Again, it's going to be at Hambones in Lawrenceville. It's going to be them. It's going to be Sister Sheena and the Shadow Puppets. It's going to be comedy from Derek Minto, and it's going to be hosted by the Godfather himself of the River's Edge, Brian Crawford. And now we have, I heard you, it's Krish and Liss. How you guys doing today?
Hey.
A little bit of a delay there. I guess you were just wondering, how long is this guy going to talk? Jeez. So where are you guys currently?
We are in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Okay, because you've been all over the God's green earth. It's been amazing watching you guys on Facebook. I've seen you guys in like the Dakotas and up and down the West Coast and out to like in the Southwest and everything like that. What are some of the most interesting places you have visited over the last month or two?
Oh, man.
All the recreational states.
What are the recreational states?
Recreational marijuana states.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah,
that's growing as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
California, Oregon was like my favorite dispensary state. Washington, Colorado. Those are the ones we were in.
Okay.
But there's more.
So let me ask you a question. Was this just a giant pot excursion? Was that all this was? I mean, or were you trying
Yes.
to...
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's it.
Okay.
We just need to make it to the West Coast and be safe so that we could just relax.
Okay, yeah. It was just too tense out here on the East Coast. You needed to go someplace where it was legal.
Well, Pennsylvania just got medical, which is awesome.
I know. Now you got to... now, Krish, you have to say, like, yep, back pain or something. I don't know what you have to do.
Which I do. Which after 4 months on the road, I'm like, yeah, my lower back, it's just, it's all kinked up. I guess I just need a little bit of medical marijuana, and then just several hours of napping.
There you go.
And I'll be good.
And that's exactly what the doctor will prescribe. But so
Yeah.
when did you guys start? I mean, because you guys started out on this tour comedy, music. What was the genesis of it? I mean, obviously you guys are your fiance. I don't know what you're engaged. I don't know. So I mean, was it just like you said, hey, let's before we get married, let's see the damn country before we get too tired to do it?
No, we both tour a bunch, so it's like, let's tour together. So we toured together, but it was Krish's idea to do the shows together. I thought it was a dumb idea, but it actually turned out to be a really good one.
Hey, yeah, Krish, we've got that recorded right here. So if you ever, so if in the future you sit there and say, hey, you've never had a good idea, be like, let's go to the tape.
I'm just gonna play that back. Like, remember the 4-month cross-country tour that we did?
4 months? 4 months? Jeez, what are you, Foo Fighters? What are you doing? That usually costs millions of dollars. How did you pull this off?
Well,
couch surfing.
Yeah, couch surfing, kind of staying with friends. Every so often we were able to, like, splurge on a hotel, but it was, like, far and few in between.
Working good deals with the people we're working with.
Yeah.
Making sure you get paid gigs as much as possible, because every day that you're not getting paid is day that you're spending on lodging and food.
Yeah. So it's just building a really good network of connections and people across the country.
Yeah.
And a lot of these places, like, either one of us have either been to or know somebody from. Liss produces a lot of shows, so she gets a lot of bands that are also touring. So she ends up meeting people from different places. You know, we both go on the road, so we end up meeting even more people. So when we come back to their city, it's just a lot easier, you know, to book shows that do well. And the overall goal is always, like, can you retain an audience? Like, do people like your work enough that they'll follow you?
And build it
and build it up. So. And part of it is, like, we still have people that we are in touch with from, like, way back since the beginning of this tour. So that's always, like, a big, I think, mission for both of us is, like, to connect with people. I don't think we both ever want to be those artists that are, like, too big to hang out with their fans. Because
Speak for yourself.
Well,
yeah, Liss. I mean, come on. Have you ever tried to get backstage with Liss? It never works out. There's a guy who makes me look like a shrimp who just stands in front of the door and just sits there and checks a list. And I'm like, hi, I know her. Like, you're not on the list.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at you, Liss. I'm like, hey, it's me. And you're just like, no, get him out of here. So, I mean, let me ask you, you are the experts now on this. You've been around the country for the last 4 months. How's the country doing? I mean, because everyone talks about, like, I mean, what is the general feeling that you're finding? Are people, especially with the political climates and everything like that, and it seems like every day there's a new story about, you know, some other thing that our president's doing. How in your mind are these people's spirits throughout the country, especially when you tell them you're from Pittsburgh, which Western Pennsylvania is kind of viewed as being one of those places that pretty much put him in office?
Yeah.
People are struggling. Like, you can see financially there's a lot of struggle and a lot of influence from the tech booms, like we saw in Portland, Oregon, and San Francisco, San Diego too. Like, there's a huge disparity of income, and we're definitely hanging out mostly with people who are of lesser means, so we're going to see more of that. But, like, the conservative folks that we talk to as well, like, you know, there's a real struggle there for everyone, and it's just a matter of figuring it out, and everybody's kind of trying to figure it out from what we can see.
Well, one of the things that I think you're right. I was actually speaking to a gentleman from Seattle a couple weeks ago, and he was aware that I was from Pittsburgh and about, you know, the Amazon headquarters and all this other kind of stuff, and he was sitting there going, it sounds great. It sounds great on paper, but a lot of issues that, which, I mean, again, there's income disparity everywhere, but the amount of where you'd have, some people that would be able to afford $5 million condos and other people that will have to travel an hour and a half to get a minimum wage job, those kind of things exist in these places, and that's one of the things that people are scared of happening in Pittsburgh if something of that level of, tech boom happens here in Western Pennsylvania.
Oh, Pittsburgh. I actually said it. I think it was Chicago. I said, go to Pittsburgh. It's great. You can park. You don't have to pay a ton of money to park. It's not as risky to just go out and walk around. It's a beautiful city. Literally everything is cheaper, and it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And there's so much art, and there's so much community, and the people are super nice because you're not still technically in the Midwest. It's the Mid-Atlantic region. I kind of figured some of that shit out, but we're still like Dutch and nice,
I hear you.
Yeah, it's got the perfect. I think Pittsburgh's got that perfect blend of Midwestern niceness, but the hustle of the East Coast almost. So it's like the perfect blend of that. And yeah, I think you're right. It's like there definitely is a fear that if the tech industry does come into Pittsburgh, that all of these really nice things that we've built will go away. But if we have learned anything from this tour, is that if we can look at cities like San Francisco and Portland and Seattle and see what went wrong and fight back against what could possibly go wrong, then maybe Pittsburgh doesn't have to become another story like San Francisco or Portland or anything, and we can actually make that shit work.
I hear you. Yeah, absolutely. Again, that's what you hope happens, is that people learn from what didn't work and kind of make it work in their own places. And like you said, it's funny because like this past summer, I spent about a week and a half in Southern California, and it really is like you see and you go to another part of the country and you're like, wow, that is nice and everything like that. But when you do come back here, it sounds like that even though you've been around the country, you do now appreciate what you have in Western Pennsylvania. Because, like, I remember when I flew back into Pittsburgh and I saw, the vegetation and the fact that you could drive and it wasn't in huge gridlock. That it was something to where, like, you know what, I kind of took this for granted until I saw something else in the world.
Yeah, that happens like every tour that I do, even if I'm gone for like a week or two and I come back, I'm just like, oh man, there's like all this cool shit that I can do right at my doorstep.
It's so affordable.
Yeah, yeah. Like just going to the grocery store itself is like, oh man, what is $5 in Southern California is like $2 in Pittsburgh, and it's awesome. It does give you like a little bit of a newfound appreciation for the city that you live in, because I do think that people get a little jaded and exhausted from where they live. That's just natural to happen. So like when you leave and go see something else and then you come back, you kind of have a little bit of that compare and contrast that you can do. So that's why I'm like, I encourage anybody at any time, if they have the opportunity to like take a week to travel somewhere, totally do it. Like if you get a couple days to go to like Rochester, do it. It's going to be great. Like you're going to have a good time, and then you're going to come back with just a completely refreshed perspective of your own city.
Or it's going to suck and you're going to have a completely refreshed perspective on life.
Now, speaking of things that don't suck, this Saturday, 7 p.m. at Hambones, it's going to be the Transcontinental Homecoming. You and Krish will be hosting some amazing performers. Sister Sheena and the Shadow Puppets. Derek Minto, the great Derek Minto, will be doing comedy. And our own godfather of the River's Edge, Brian Crawford, will be the MC. What can people expect if they come out to the show this Saturday at Hambones, 7 p.m.?
Oh my gosh, it's going to be hype. It's going to be so good. No, it's going to be so good. Oh yeah, it's music, it's comedy, it's variety. Like Brian Crawford, you know him. He's a wild card.
Yeah. We have no idea what he'll do. No idea. He might light himself on fire. Who knows? He might. Who knows? You're laughing because you're not 100% unsure that he might not do that.
I'm not sure that he might not do that.
No, he's gonna do it because he's gonna see the show.
That'll be his closer, and everyone will be like, "Damn, why didn't I think of that?" But
and then Burning Bridges won't be initiated yet, but I mean that's a nice, because there's gonna be a comedy show afterward too.
Awesome.
I don't know if it's official Burning Bridges afterward, but I know John Dick Winters is involved, and there's gonna be comedy after the show, so that's why we have the early slot from 7 to 10.
Yeah.
And then from like 10:30 or 11 until the end of the night, that's when I think I mean, I guess it's not officially burning bridges, but it's still the same people. Do you know, Mike? the
I am not
details of that
aware.
show?
I am not aware. I did not know I had to do homework for the show afterwards.
No.
I
would just say
I
that
wrote
if
down
you
your
want more
stuff,
comedy,
and I did. Yeah, I mean, I think there is a comedy show afterwards with some very hilarious people. So again, if you have something like, okay, Pitt Penn State's this Saturday. You know what? If you're not a Giant football fan, then you know what? What are you going to do? You're going to go to Lawrenceville. You're going to sit there. You're going to see great comedy, great music at Ham Bones, great food, great people, and you're going to have a wonderful time in an environment that is accepting, and you're not going to have to see drunken people trying to relive their college days while they watch young
Oh my
people
God, that's so
play
true.
football in the rain. And it's probably going to rain. They're also saying it might rain. So guess what? It's indoors. Your show, the Ham Bones is indoors still, right? Yeah. So it's indoors.
Yes, it is.
So you're going to have a wonderful time. Again, it's this Saturday, September 8th, 7 p.m. at Ham Bones, the Transcontinental Homecoming with Krish and Liss. It's going to have Derek Minto. It's going to have Sister Sheena and the Shadow Puppets, and it's hosted by our own Brian Crawford from the River's Edge. Thank you both for sharing this, and you're sharing your adventures, and I look forward to seeing you both back here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, we're excited to see you guys too.
Thank you, Sasson. Have
Nope.
a good day.
No
Thanks,
problem.
Alex.
Thank you. See, hey, it said shout out to Alex. Always a shout out to Alex. Again, it's the Mike
Oh,
Sasson.
yeah.
There we go. It's the Mike Sasson Show. We're going to be right back with Alex and Bar Thoughts and Experiences. It is the River's Edge at www.riversedgepgh.com.
Here we go again with the same old story. Why did I do this? Time inform me. This is the fire that I've seen before. Should have seen that smoke coming through that door. Here comes the wrath from the gates of hell in the form of a fight between a boy and a girl. One with a white flag, the other keeps score. On the battleground of two broken hearts at war. She said no, it is over. You must go.
Again, it is the Mike Sasson Show on the River's Edge at www.riversedgepgh.com. Thank you very much again for Liss, Victory, and Krish Mohan, which, by the way, when Liss texted me and asked if she would be on the show, she just goes, Mike, it's Victory. And I'm just like, that's so sweet. That's how I want to actually text people. But thanks to them for coming on. And again, this Saturday, September 8th, 7 p.m. at Ham Bones. Check them out. It's going to be comedy. It's going to be music. It's going to be amazing. And then afterwards, there will be a comedy show. So really, you're going to have your whole night, your whole Saturday night right there at Ham Bones. It's going to be an amazing
Just the
event.
most amount of entertainment that you could ever want.
Yeah. It's like we're Vegas.
Yeah,
It's like
basically.
we're Vegas. Lawrenceville is more or less just a mini Vegas for one night.
I've always said that.
That's
Yeah.
You've been trying to push that.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, you've been trying to get Wayne Newton and some Paul Jones or Todd Jones or whatever his name is. Jones, what's his name? Barry Jones. The British. It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. That guy. Tom Jones.
It's like,
Who knows? I went
really
through
tried to
every
think.
random white person's name until I got to him. Someone else who isn't a random white person, though, is Alex. She has Bar Thoughts and Experiences with Alex. Alex, play your theme song.
All right, I'm getting there.
You're getting there. Well-oiled machine here at the Mike Sasson Show.
Oh man, things are hard.
One of the things I'm not happy with this new setup is the giant computer is not giving people the amount of buttons that are in front of you.
The reason why things are so hard, why I struggle so much, honestly, is because I have two mouses in front of me.
Mouse eyes?
They're not mice because you can't say that they're mice. Those are computer mouses.
Okay.
There's two of them in front of me, and they both control different computers, and it's so confusing in my brain, and I don't know why. I try and separate them so that it's not confusing to me, but it is.
You know what else is confusing to you? The fact that people are not drinking more. Again, it's Bar Thoughts and Experiences. Alex, what is on this week's Bar Thoughts?
So I haven't done this in a while, so I figured I would just go through my phone. It's mainly because I just didn't have any thoughts this week.
Yeah, no thoughts. It was a thought-free week.
Just nothing.
Yeah.
And I've been like, I have definitely been drinking the same, not the same amount, but I've been drinking consistently, like every day for the past week, but have not had a hangover.
Are you getting good at it? You're getting better at drinking, is what you're saying.
I'm just drinking like a slightly less every day, just slightly, so that I can wake up the next day and feel like a normal human, and it's great.
You know, the funny thing, you bring that up. I was watching this YouTube video, this trainer.
Yeah.
Who was talking about the differences between how Americans train and how like Eastern Europeans train, like athletically. And he said the way Americans train is stupid because he says what they do is they go hard 3 days a week. And so what they do is they say, okay, let's go run. And then they run for like 10 miles and they get super sore. So it takes them a couple days to get back on the road. Whereas he goes, the way they do it over in like Eastern Europe is they'll say, okay, run a mile. And then the next day, run another mile. And so what happens is that, you went hard for 5 miles, but I went every day for a mile. So I actually ran 7 miles. So I actually trained more. And so that's a smarter way to go. You're doing the same thing with drinking. You're like, you know what? I could be like a college 18-year-old frat dude and get blasted out of my gourd. And then all of a sudden you're sitting there on a Sunday. You're like, I can't move. And you're like, nah. I got happy on Saturday. I'm still in good mood. Sunday, I'm back at brunch, having the mimosas.
Yeah.
And then Sunday night, I'm drinking some more. And it's consistency. And you're actually consuming more alcohol.
Yeah, I feel better about myself, to be honest.
It's called growth, Alex.
It is. So I've just kind of went through my phone this past today. And
This past today.
and went through just some of the interesting things that I found. Mainly all of my notes in my phone are about the show or like about, like our fresh eyes and stuff like that. But every now and then we get some good little quotes and things because I don't remember my life. So I like to write things down to try and remind me.
How amazing your life is.
But a lot of times I don't remember why I wrote the thing down and what it means.
Yep.
So one of the first things, someone said this to me last week. Some things you say are just so weird and cute that I want to rewind it and hear it all over again. So instead I just mock you, which I thought was the cutest thing that anyone's ever said to me in my entire life.
That is pretty darn cute.
Pretty darn cute. I also have a note that says shame and annihilation.
That's a great band name.
That was the whole note, and I don't know what it means.
What it means is an awesome band name, Shame and Annihilation.
So I think it was two different things, and they just so happened to sound really good together.
I know, band name.
Yeah, I don't know what it is though. If someone could remind me of my life, that would be great.
Yeah, that would be great.
Also, the song. Do you know the song "Yeah" by Usher?
Yeah.
Yeah, which great song name.
Yeah.
If you can put an exclamation point in your song name, I think it's a winner. But I had the line in it, fills cups like double D's, written down in my phone because I just think that's a genius line.
Isn't
in
it?
Any song.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
I just like songs that bring up boobs.
I think that's a very interesting way to do it. And yeah, well, I mean, that was back during the boob era before we got all these butts.
Yeah. Till we're pro butts. We're going to be back to boobs. Don't worry about it, Alex.
Here's some good wisdom from my brain. The long term is made up of the short term.
You know what my coach one time before every game he would say like a poem. And he would sit there and
that's adorable.
I know. And he sat there and he would say, because the future is just a whole string of nows.
Oh, yeah. That's basically the same thing.
I know.
Am I him?
Are you my coach?
Do we have the same brain?
I don't know. Do you
what
have
if
the
I
same
just
coach as Skip
is he
Holtz?
dead?
No, he's alive. He's like in his 50s.
Damn. Okay. I was going to say I'm the reincarnation of him, but maybe I am not.
Yeah.
I also have this very conceited thought in my phone. It says, it's nights like these that I feel like I actually understand why people like me and fall in love with me. I was like, I needed to write that down just so that when I'm feeling real bad about myself and I'm like, why does anyone ever pay any attention to me? That I can go back to that night and be like, oh.
Tonight's
things like this.
Why people like me.
Yeah, so that was nice. Also, the term or the phrase, my loins are groining. I said that once in a phrase used when people are horny.
My loins are groaning. That's a very bad way of saying horny.
I think it's great.
If
it
a guy
goes
came up to you
hand in hand with bagging snakes.
If a guy came up to you and been like, hey, my loins are groaning, You'd be like,
no, my loins are groining. It doesn't make any sense.
groining.
And that's why it's great.
I know.
My loins are groining.
I don't know.
I would be okay.
Sounds like an old prospector if he got horny.
Also,
My loins are groaning, man. Let's go get some coal or whatever. I don't know.
I think it goes hand in hand with bag and snakes.
Okay, go ahead.
Great phrases that Alex Clemens has made up in her life.
Uh-huh.
Also, a quote that I said. I tend to write down a lot of quotes that I say because I think I'm funny.
Uh-huh.
This one is it a love triangle? Those are my favorite kind of triangles. I said that before.
That sounds like something would be said on like The Office. Because what other types of triangles would... I mean, that is a pretty cool triangle.
It is. It is the best kind of triangle. Can you think of a better triangle?
The Golden Triangle, downtown Pittsburgh. It's a pretty good triangle.
Better than a love triangle.
Love triangle. It sounds like an old Motown hit.
I feel like that is a song.
Yeah.
The way that you sang it, it really sounds like a song. If it isn't, we should probably make it, maybe.
Now, let me ask you a question. Is it a love triangle if there's one person, two people are in love with the one person, but the other two people are not aware of the other's existence?
Yeah, I definitely think so.
Because then the triangle isn't complete. It's more of a love V.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just the thought I had.
So they have to know about each other.
Then to complete the triangle, yeah.
Okay.
That's just my thought.
I'm always trying for love triangles.
Really? You want two people to fall in love with you, but then they have to meet each other.
Yeah, it's just basically that last part.
Yeah.
I can always get two people to fall in love with me. It's just them meeting each other.
Wow. Just wow.
See, it's nights like that night that I realize why people do it.
Why people
Maybe this
love
is
you.
one of those days.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not
Sometimes
feeling it.
maybe I was watching this show and I was like, this is it. This is why people fall in love with me.
Yeah, that show, that laugh, that moment is the reason why people every Sunday and every Tuesday, every Monday, every day, really.
Whatever day we do this.
You just take a big old spoonful of Alex. That's how it is.
So my last thought, which I think is the most ridiculous, not most ridiculous, but it just says, learn how to play piano. I had to put that as a note in my phone to remind me how to play piano. I have not since learned how to play piano, in case you were wondering.
I thought you had, at one point, you could play Piano Man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, back when I was like, I don't know, 17.
But so you have to relearn to play piano.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything at all, yeah, so.
If someone said, Mike, what would be something that you would love to be instantaneously good at? I would love if, like, the good Lord above came to me and goes, what skill would you like to have? I'd be like, make it that I am a great guitar player. I would love if I could just pick up a guitar and just shred a chord. That'd be sweet. But I can't. I am the worst music. I can't play anything.
Yeah, no, I'm very terrible at it. When I used to play piano, I would have all the keys labeled.
Yeah. That's how bad you are at piano. You don't even know what you're doing.
I couldn't even. I had to.
You were just especially since this is a radio program for about 80% of the people that listen to. You're just like all they hear is just hear you banging on the bar we have built here. So again, thank you very much, Alex. That was Bar Thoughts and Experiences with Alex. This is why people fall in love with Alex. Thank you very much. Now, I'm reviving. I used to have 5 takes. Now, I don't want to do like a number. Because one of the reasons why I ended it was because I was like, it's too much pressure to come up with 5.
Oh, it really is.
So now I'm just calling it Hot Takes.
Hot Takes.
Hot Takes. By the way, I came up with 5.
You dick.
I'm such a loser. Anyways, it is Hot Takes. Play my song. Now, here's the thing with Hot Takes. I'm doing 5. I might have 4 in 1 week. I might have 2. I don't even know.
It's kind of like hot cakes.
Yeah.
The hot takes. Did you do that on purpose?
Because you know what? Guess who loves hot cakes? This guy.
No.
That's a 6th hot take. You know what I like? Hot cakes. Big fan. See, I gave you a bonus one. So these are rapid fire, so don't take a nap right now. Anyways, number 1, Le'Veon Bell, the Pittsburgh Steelers, is holding out. As of this moment, he has still not joined the Steelers. Here's my hot take. He's doing what he feels he needs to do for his career. He's allowed to do it, but we're allowed to hate his guts. So those are the 2 things. Anyways, that's a hot take. Anyways, number 2, why does adding mom or dad to something make it suck? Like, I was watching a commercial, and they were trying to sell me a wallet. and they say, you don't want a dad wallet. And it was just like a normal wallet, like with stuff in it. Like, you want this sleek, super cool wallet. You don't want a dad wallet. Like, why is all of a sudden, like, okay, a dad bod, a dad wallet, mom jeans, something like that, make it suck? Your mom and dad weren't bad people, most of us. I mean, whatever. But, I mean, why is it like, do you sit there and be like, oh, those are dad jeans or dad wallets, or that's a dad rock. That's another thing people say. Oh, that's dad rock. What's wrong with your dad? Why do you hate your dad so much?
I don't know. I love dads.
I know. What's the deal? You love DILFs. You love G-DILFs.
Love them all. Love them all.
So that was a hot take. Anyways, number 3, John McCain's funeral is something we may never see again that isn't a president. I've never seen a person have literally 3 funerals in a week. He had one in Arizona, one in Washington, D.C., and then he got buried at the Naval Academy. He was just a senator. That was a hot take. What, I mean, have you ever seen, like, I remember when, like, Nixon died and Reagan died, they had, like, 2 funerals. This guy's up to 3 funerals. He might have more funerals. He might just keep having funerals everywhere.
Sorry, I just showed a picture of on accident because it didn't load fast enough. The dad bod photo came up while you're talking about John McCain.
That's his current state, yeah.
No, I get notifications about it every day, and I'm like, he's dead. How long is this?
I know, every
what
day
else
there's
is
a new
happening
thing.
today?
And then what's got to suck is his wife at every one, it's in public, and she has to cry again.
Yeah, that would definitely
Eventually,
suck.
I would just be like, yeah, I've dealt with this emotion 3 days ago.
That's when you start wearing those veils so you don't have to, people don't see your face.
I think you're right. That's why you do wear those veils, because you just kind of like have a bored look on your face. Like, yeah, he's dead. He died like 10 days ago.
Please let me move on.
Yeah, seriously. I got hot dudes back in the other place. Whatever. So that's a hot take. All right, number 4. Stop giving people on social media credit. Like, every time anything happens, like some lazy journalist puts something like, and the Twittersphere is a buzz. I'm like, you ever look and someone will sit there and be like, you know what? I hate this person and I hope he dies. And it's like on Twitter. I'm like, wait, how many followers do you have? And it's like, this guy has 18 followers. And I'm like, why are we giving this guy a platform to like tell anybody? He has less people paying attention to them than if he yelled something at a CC's Pizza.
Yeah.
Okay? Stop giving these people too much credit. And number 5, why does easy listening music get shit on so much? Like, I was listening today while I was writing the show. I was listening to some Chicago, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I wouldn't want to like lift weights to this, but you know what? When you're trying to get into a chill mood, you want to listen to some Air Supply, some Chicago, some Genesis.
Chill mood.
Yeah. Everything doesn't have to be Metallica and AC/DC for big sass.
Nothing really has to.
I know you hate him, but the thing is my point being is like, you know what? Why we keep on crapping on it? I think it has its place. Every music has its place, except country music. That never has a place. That was hot takes.
Great.
Anyways,
really good.
I know you're really thrilled with that. That's why people fall in love with me. Anyways, that was hot takes. Next up, Fresh Eyes. Let's do Fresh Eyes, Alex. Play the theme song. As I mentioned before, there's no place for that music anywhere.
It's everywhere.
I know, it's pissing me off. Anyway, so this being Labor Day and the Labor Day weekend, I tried to pick an artist that just epitomizes the working man and the working ethos of just music in general. And I think I picked him, Alex, the boss, Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce Springsteen. I don't know why you gave him that accent. Anyways.
Bruce Springsteen.
He's not a Southern. He's from New Jersey, okay? I think one time, did you remember when you were in New York City and I sent you a video of the first open mic you ever did?
I probably didn't watch it.
I know, you're just a terrible person. Anyway, so it was really cool because it was 1973 and someone was just recording this random open mic in New York City. And the funny thing about him is he looked very kind of like a, dare I say, how a hipster would look in Lawrenceville. He was wearing like a knit hat, and he had a scruffy beard, and he was playing a harmonica. And then you see him when he becomes full-fledged Bruce Springsteen 10, 15 years later, and he just gets all buff and jacked to be Mr. Working Man swinging a sledgehammer. So what I had Alex do is I had Alex watch 3 videos. One was Born in the USA. 2 was Dancing in the Dark, and 3 was a live performance of Born to Run, which I think is one. If that's his quintessential Bruce Springsteen song, is Born to Run. So let's start with Born in the USA. First and foremost, the thing about Born in the USA is I would say it's the most misunderstood song in popular music.
I'd say so. I would agree with that.
That and Every Breath You Take. Yeah. Everyone thinks that's a love song. Every Breath You Take is a song about like a stalker.
Real fucking sad.
Like I remember one time in my when I was coaching high school football, they put it in the highlight video for the football team. And I'm like, why are we doing this? Like, oh, it's the pictures of the parents, and it's like, you know, they're going off to college and the seniors. And I go, that song is about like a man like spying on a woman saying you'll never get away from me and stalking. And he's like, no, it's a song about like, hey, wherever you go, I'll be there. I'm like, no, read the lyrics. That's the same thing about Born in the USA. The one part where I really got pissed with this was right after 9/11, the first game they played after 9/11 was in Buffalo, the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
And so me and my brother went up there. And they, again, the only team in New York State is actually the Buffalo Bills. The other two are in New Jersey.
Right.
So obviously the attacks of 9/11 happened in New York City. So they had Governor Pataki and all these other people because it was like the first big sporting event in New York State. And so they bring out all the first responders and all the military and all this kind of stuff. And when they do it, what song do you think they play? Born in the USA. And I'm sitting there going, will anybody listen to the bleeping lyrics here? Born dead in a dead man's town. The first kick I took is when I hit the ground. End up like a dog that's been beat too much, so you spend half your life covering up. That's the lyric. It's not a patriotic song. What did you think about this video, Born in the USA?
This is probably one of the first videos that you've had me watch that I actually like appreciated this song more because of the video. Because I think like I knew like some of the meaning behind the song, but it is one of those ones that's just like it's very easy to just kind of like sing along to and not really, because it's very, you know, like it's repetitive and you pay attention to that part of it and not any of the other lyrics. So it is very easy to like sing along to and just kind of get lost in it and not really think about anything. So I think that's why I liked the video a lot, because it, like, first of all, like he just sings it with a lot of like passion behind his voice, and I think I like that. Even though the whole song is pretty much all like monotone like scream singing, like it has a lot of emotion behind it. So I really like that part of it. One
of the things about Bruce Springsteen, and it actually from a perspective of a performer, like I was asked on another podcast, is there anybody that isn't a comedian that is an influence on you? And I would say Bruce Springsteen is, because Bruce Springsteen is famous for having like 4-hour shows, and the reason why he says it is because he has almost like a working man's ethos when it comes to his performance. He's like, we're here to put on a show that everybody in this arena walks out going, we want these people to be exhausted. We want them to get if they paid $50, they're going to get $60 worth of entertainment. We're going nuts with it. And I hope, again, he usually plays Pittsburgh at least once or twice every tour. The next time he does, I want to go out and see him, just because I'm not a gigantic fan of him, but just the performance I've heard is just top notch. And you see that in Born in the USA, and then when we get to Born to Run, in that, you know, that, and we'll get to Born to Run. What did you think of the Born to Run video? Because it was a bit of like a montage of him playing Born to Run during his peak of his Born in the USA, when he was just the biggest rock star in the world.
Yeah, I think it's so cute, like because they do those little montages of like old times that they were playing and stuff, and it's just like, yeah, you can tell like how great of a performer it is, but like how much they kind of just want to have fun, and they just, like you said, like want every single person in the audience to like have fun. So like all of his band members and stuff are just like, hey, like let's enjoy what we're doing, like let's not, you know, like they're not doing anything crazy, you know, like it's not that crazy of what they're doing like in this video. They're just kind of like having fun with each other, and it like makes it very enjoyable for the crowd, I feel, to feel that. And also their outfits are amazing.
Yeah, they look like, again, I said why do dads, but they do look like a lot of them do look like dads on the weekend. Like they play in a band with Bruce Springsteen, but they look like they're wearing collared shirts and jeans, like they're about to take their kid to soccer practice.
And he has like the most mismatched band, like looks wise, like every single person is completely different from the other person. Like doesn't dress the same, doesn't do anything the same. There's no like uniform there of the people that he has in his band, which I think is really cool.
But one of the weird things about that video is in the video, he's dancing with his then wife.
Yeah.
But he eventually divorces her and goes with the redhead in the, I think her name's like Annabelle, whatever. But so he's in a band with his future wife. And in the video, he's with his first wife.
Yeah.
That's that's an interesting, you want to talk about a love triangle in a sense that who knows what was going on at that moment or whatever like that. But eventually the mother of his children is sitting right there when he's, and then be with the model, at the time she was an actress. She was actually, I think, in like Fletch or something like that. But and so that was kind of interesting. But yeah, it really does. Still to this day, the biggest, most well-attended concert in the history of Pittsburgh, Bruce Springsteen, Three River Stadium, something like 70,000 people. They crammed it in there. And I actually talked to, when I was on the Jim Crenn podcast, we had Rich Engler on.
Okay.
And he talked about that show. And what was amazing, he goes, the one thing he remembers about the show is at the time, there was no internet. And so like every Giant Eagle or every Shop and Save is where you got your tickets, or you went down to Three River Stadium and you waited outside and you slept in a tent or something like that. But at one point, he literally on his kitchen table had every ticket that was about to be sold in that Three River Stadium.
Oh, damn.
And so he literally was like looking at it. It was like one of the most amazing things. He's like, here it is. There's 65,000 tickets I'm about to sell to this show. And he literally would just drive and have them distributed to all of the places where you could buy them. But yeah, just at that moment, he was just the epitome of, especially in the 80s when it was, kind of glam music and glam rock. He just seemed to be somebody that people could hold on to as like, okay, this is real shit and everything like that.
I think one of the things that I actually really enjoy about Bruce Springsteen, which is surprising, is that he was never someone who was like big into drinking or like big into drugs or anything like that. Like he actually just really cared. Like I watched this interview with him and he was just like, I enjoyed my music. Like my music was the only thing that I have. Like I'm not going to destroy that with like doing crazy drugs and stuff like that. But like you see his performances, and I feel like you can see that in his performances too.
He reminds me a lot of Sidney Crosby, because I've met Sidney Crosby and people talk like, well, what type of guy is he? Sidney Crosby really just kind of eat, breathes, sleeps hockey.
Yeah.
Like that's all he's about. And so like when people go, well, what else is he? I mean, yeah, he goes out to dinner, he has a girlfriend, whatever. But it's just like he's just about hockey. Bruce Springsteen is just every day about music. Like he has friends here in Pittsburgh that he comes like Joe Grishecki and stuff like that. He'll just show up and just play at a benefit, and he'll just be his guitarist because he just loves music that much. He's just almost a music house, not negatively saying this, but a music nerd.
And I think he has it in his brain too that like, okay, if I'm doing drugs or if I'm doing this, like it's not only me that I'm going to let down. Like I'm going to let down all of these people that have like helped me get there. And I think that he realizes that a lot more than a lot of other artists.
And I also think that's one of the reasons why 20 some odd years after his really last hit, he's still selling out arenas, because people know that he's going to show up and he's going to deliver 3-4 hours of a performance, and he can't do that 4 nights a week if he's getting blasted out of his gourd later that evening.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a very interesting perspective. Now, the last video I had you watch, which amongst Bruce Springsteen fans might be their least favorite video, but I thought knowing your fandom of Friends might be the most interesting one for you, and that is Dancing in the Dark. People who make fun of this video call it Disco Bruce because he's not with a guitar and he's weirdly dancing and stuff like that. But it was the first big break for a future Friends star, Courtney Cox. What did you know that she was going to be in the video when you saw it?
I did not know that, no.
And so what were your reactions when you were like...
That was exciting. I don't know if I liked... The video started out, the very first shot was a crotch shot.
Uh-huh.
That was the very first thing that
Yes.
showed on the video. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, cool video. Cool.
Yeah.
But no, I liked a lot.
Bruce's butt at that point was actually a big part of his Born in the USA album cover was his butt with was Annie Leibovitz a shot where he had like a ball cap in his back pocket, but literally his album cover was his butt.
Yeah.
So
Soup's cute.
Yeah, so he knew that, hey, you know what? This is the moneymaker back in 1984.
But also, like, this video kind of made me feel like it's almost like it's not even real. Like, to me, it looks like a movie where, like, the kind of, like, funny, like, popular kid in school is, like, trying to impress a girl. So he, like, starts playing music, and then for some reason he gets, like, really, really popular, you know? And then he, like, ends up impressing this girl, but then ends up having, like, a really good music career, and it's just because, like, he started as, like, not a real thing, you know? That's what it seems like to me whenever he's doing this crazy dance and stuff. Like, this guy's not a real person.
Yeah.
He's not a real performer.
Well, one of the weird things about Bruce Springsteen is I have a good amount of family from northern New Jersey, and they all have stories about, like, yeah, Bruce Springsteen played my prom.
Yeah.
Or I saw Bruce Springsteen at the Stone Pony, and, you know, and I mean, he was just it's similar like how my brother views Wiz Khalifa and Mac Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Like Wiz Khalifa, I remember taking my brother to a roller rink in Harmerville to see Wiz Khalifa play.
Yeah.
And Mac Miller, my brother has friends who, like, were on his, like, basketball team at the Jewish Community Center in Squirrel Hill.
Yeah.
And now he's Mac Miller. And then, like, again, Aaron Donald, who from Penn Hills just signed a $80 million guaranteed contract with the Rams. I remember when it was funny. It's just, again, it's I know this is supposed to be about Bruce Springsteen, but whatever. Hold on. I remember I brought my brother and another player when I was coaching at Fox Chapel to Pitt's facility because there was a recruiting service that wanted to take their pictures and whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember just sitting in Pitt's offices was Aaron Donald. And I remember going up to him like, hey, Aaron, like, hey, what's up, coach? You know, whatever. And I remember thinking he was a lot shorter than I thought he'd be. Because I remember coaching against him. He was a hell of a player. But he was like, if there was a bar that was 6 foot at that door, Aaron Donald at that point would not need to have ducked his head to get underneath here.
Yeah.
And so I was sitting there going, he might not be that big time of a player. Yeah, 120 some odd $1 million later. Yeah, it's you know, shows that maybe I shouldn't be a scout, Alex.
I just feel like, to me, like, Bruce Springsteen is just, like, the most normal-looking dude. You know what I mean? Just, like, what you would think of just, like, some dude out of New Jersey and just, like, somehow got really big. I mean, not somehow. There's reasons, definitely, for it. But, like, just a normal-looking dude. And, like, never tried to be anything else besides a normal-looking dude.
But, like, to talk about why he was and is as successful as he was, there was a documentary that I just saw called The Defiant Ones.
Yeah.
And they had the guy who now owns Interscope Records. One of his first jobs was he was the board op for not Born in the USA, but for Born to Run.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that Bruce Springsteen was obsessive about every aspect of that album, to the point to where he was being worked so hard, the guy who was working the board, that he would legitimately fall asleep on the board, and Bruce would just be like, no, again. And he would just, like, he would almost do it without knowing, like, that he was doing it. And later on, that was one of the things when he eventually produced U2. And the thing that he sat there and he goes, I knew that these guys were going to be big, U2. It's because they had this. He goes, I had never seen a work ethic since Bruce Springsteen than when I saw with U2. And that's one of the things that I think that I've never met a success that was long lasting that I walked away going, that guy doesn't know how to work.
Yeah.
Every person that I've ever met in any line of work, if they've kept the success, not just they got it and they went away. I'm talking they got it and then they kept it. The one thing they have all in common is an unquestionable work ethic of just, you know, Jerry Seinfeld. You'll still find him doing 2 a.m. sets at in New York City. You know,
right.
Dave Chappelle will pop into the Comedy Store and do a half hour. You know, he doesn't need to do that, but he does it because he wants to be great at something and he just keeps on moving forward.
Yeah.
So. Overall, Bruce Springsteen, yay or nay?
I'd say this definitely made me appreciate him a little bit more than I did before.
Would you want to see him live?
Maybe.
If someone said, "Here, I have a Bruce Springsteen ticket," you would say,
Maybe.
"Okay."
Depends on where it is.
Wait, where's the ticket or where's the performance?
Where's the performance?
Okay.
How far do I have to go to see this show?
Pittsburgh.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Okay, there you go. There's your story. And that is Fresh Eyes with Bruce Springsteen. So thank you very much, Alex. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, it's going to be a quick news and notes, and then we're going to get out here and let you enjoy the rest of your Labor Day weekend. My name is Mike Sasson. That's Alex Clemens, the producer extraordinaire. You are listening to The River's Edge at www.riversedgepgh.com. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Mike Sasson Show on the River's Edge at www.riversedgepgh.com, or you're watching on Facebook Live, or you are listening on several of the podcast formats, either Google Play, iTunes, or SoundCloud, or you're listening on the TuneIn Radio app across the planet Earth. And now you are listening to News and Notes from the world of gossip, celebrity, sports, and weirdness. Alex, play the theme song. Big news in comedy this week, Alex. The return of Louis C.K. He performed a set, actually, this past Sunday at the Comedy Cellar in New York City, and was met with a considerable amount of vitriol from some established comedians. The people in the audience seemed to enjoy it. No one left. I think they said one person called the owner and said, "Hey, you should have told us that this was going to happen." What is your opinion about Louis C.K. coming back? Here is mine. He was eventually going to come back, but I think he made a mistake by not at least having the Oprah interview, the interview where he could explain himself. For him just to kind of come back, and also in his act, he didn't even touch upon anything that happened to him and the assaults or anything like that. And so I think there needed to be some sort of like, hey, I mean, he released a press statement at one point. There needed to be something to where, like he said, you know, someone could look into his eyes and say, hey, this is what I was going through. This is why I did what I did. I'm insanely sorry.
Right.
Moving forward from there. So until that happens, I don't think that people are going to really let him just pretend like nothing happened.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, even if a couple people didn't think that, like, there's how many people that, you know, don't view him as a good person anymore, and like to not know his side of the story at all. And
well, it's not even his side of the story. Just flat out, just be like, what the hell were you thinking? Why did you do this? What was wrong? Do you understand why what you did was wrong?
Right. But I mean, like, to me, I would still want to know, like, his side of the story and kind of what, I don't, like, obviously for him to say that he's sorry and to, like, bring it into light, but, like, to know, you know, I don't know, kind of what he was thinking and then what he's thinking going back into it, you know, like, why are you going back into it?
What, in the comedy?
Yeah.
I think it's as easy as the fact that he's a stand-up comic.
I think, I should say why he's going back into it the way that he's doing, you know?
Yeah. I think it's just, fundamentally, I just think the man, the thing that's going to really screw Louis C.K., which is something he never would obviously anticipate, is the people who are huge Louis C.K. fans were progressive urbanites.
Yeah.
And those are the exact people that are never going to forgive him.
Yeah.
If he was going after the more of the, maybe some more of the, kind of the suburban, rural, kind of more of the conservative types, people would have been like, oh, he said he's sorry, he can move on with his life. But those weren't his fans prior to this.
Yeah.
I mean, he might almost have to pull a Dennis Miller and completely flip who he appeals to if he wants to actually have a career. But I think he honestly was just like, hey, I have some material, let me go try it. And Maybe he'll come back this Sunday. I don't know. But ultimately, I don't think the world will embrace him until he actually looks into a camera, looks and has someone really ask, what the hell were you thinking? And then ultimately have a plan together of how he could have some beginnings of trying to make things right.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Moving on. One thing that kind of annoys me. Cosmo UK had a Tess Holiday, who is a Mississippi-based model who is insanely big. She's a big girl. And the thing that got me about it is Cosmo, and obviously don't read it. It's not for me, whatever like that. But here's the thing that annoys me. There's so many people, again, on the Twitter sphere when this was announced who sat there and said, oh, this is such a great move forward. Oh, if this had existed when I was a little girl, I wouldn't have had the body issues and all this other kind of stuff. Here's, again, what bothers me. Cosmo doesn't get the right to establish who is pretty or not.
Right.
So if you sit there and say, oh, now that they've put someone who looks more like, someone who's in the world, now they're saying that instantaneously those type of people are beautiful. No. A magazine, an advertisement, anything like that doesn't have the right to decide what beauty is. We all decide what beauty is.
They're also saying, like, now, okay, like, yes, now this woman is on the cover, but now, like, she still has, like, a ton of makeup on and stuff like that. And, like, oh, you're only beautiful if you have this much confidence to be able to, like, wear a swimsuit on the cover of a magazine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
so they're not
again,
even doing
it is still an image.
Yeah.
One thing I've always thought whenever I look at, like, a beautiful woman in, like, a Playboy or a Cosmo or whatever is I always have to stop myself and go, you realize you're pretty much almost looking borderline at a cartoon. You're looking at, I mean, it's airbrushed out. It's meant to look beyond real and, it's beyond anything that is actually real. Anything is taken away. And you're almost looking at something. You might as well be looking at Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah.
Like, that's the level there. But again, it just bothers me because if you keep saying to Cosmo, oh, good for you for putting someone that looks more normal on the magazine, then again, you're making Cosmo in charge of setting beauty. When at the end of the day, all Cosmo is trying to do is make money. There was I'm reminded of this. They were talking about this past back to school season. American Eagle Outfitters, their sale of their jeans was up like 15%. And the reason why they say it is because their ad campaign had more quote-unquote normal-looking models. They didn't have regular-looking models.
Yeah.
They had more normal people on it. Again, you don't think that the people who do these magazines know this? That right now people might not want the same, kind of waif-thin, unrealistic model staring back at them.
Right.
They're going to want that. And so they go, aha, this is what they want. We're trying to sell them blue jeans. Give them what they want and kind of move forward. The other thing that I would sit there and say, the moment a giant fat guy appears on Men's Health, then we'll have something. We still haven't had that. It's still all, jack dudes and, and tan bodies.
Will that change things for you, Mike?
It won't. It absolutely won't. But I just want to see it. Actually, I want to be it. I will. If Men's Health wants to put me on the cover, guess what? Then the love handles will be in full force. Speaking of someone who would appear on a magazine, Adriana Grande. She sang at Aretha Franklin's funeral / tribute in Detroit, which apparently lasted like 5 to 8 hours or something ridiculous.
Oh, that's a decent amount of time.
But the weird thing about it is at the thing. First off, they made fun of Bill Clinton. He was there, and there were just a ton of pictures of Bill Clinton ogling her, like couldn't take his eyes off her. Which it's like, he's a dude looking at an insanely beautiful woman.
I'm sure there's other people in the audience.
Yeah, but everyone's taking pictures of Bill like all like googly eyes for her. That's gonna happen. What shouldn't happen is you're looking at the picture currently, right? Mm-hmm. That is a bishop in Detroit named Charles E. Ellis, and one of his hands might be getting a little bit too gropey.
Yeah, a little too gropey.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And so he apologized for. First off, he made fun of her name. He said, "Oh, when I heard Ariana Grande was going to be here, it sounds like a Taco Bell special."
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so that's strike one.
So why are they making fun of people with this thing?
I know, he's an idiot.
That's really weird.
And then on top of that, it looks like he's groping a young woman at a funeral.
It looks like he's pushing his hands into her boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at first I saw it from far away and I was like, oh, he's just like it just so happened that he was grabbing her in like not a great place. But then once you look at it more, you're like, oh, that doesn't seem right. Doesn't seem like that was an accident.
That's the reach around booby grab. That's not a good move for a bishop.
And I feel like she's even like, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
I feel like that makes it worse.
Yeah, because she's just like looking down, going, "Wait, is this guy grabbing at a funeral?"
Yeah.
This is I'm here pretty much probably on my own dime to honor someone that I respect, and I'm getting groped by a bishop.
Yeah.
So, being groped by a bishop is not the way you should honor the Godfathers, the Queen of Soul. Some other way that you could honor them is send them to Tokyo, where an unusual hotel is being already built, in which robot dinosaurs meet you and set you up on your date. They're the check-in.
So they're completely robots. They're not people dressed as dinosaurs.
They are robots, and what you do is you walk up, and there's like a pad to where you pick which language, and then they speak to you in that language.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Now, the point being is they say in Tokyo, there's obviously it's a gigantic city. Actually, in terms of people, it's bigger than New York City. And so there's just an enormous amount of competition for hotels. And just like a normal Hilton, it just doesn't cut it.
Yeah.
If you're going to want to get some visitors, you want to get – I mean, remember, this is Japan. These are people that, sometimes if you ever watch their television, they do some kind of weird stuff.
Yeah.
They sit there and so if you walked into a hotel and all of a sudden you saw robot dinosaurs that you had to check in with, what would be your response?
I think I'd be pretty excited. I'd just be a little bit afraid that they would mess my stuff up,
That would be my concern. It doesn't matter if they're robot dinosaurs or robot anything. My biggest concern would be I would at least want – it's like when you go to the checkout at Giant Eagle and it's like the electronic thing. I like that it's there because it's typically full – it's free of old women because they don't like that. So it's the line's usually short. But the problem is I want someone nearby to fix it if it's broke.
Yeah.
And that picture shows no one there. They're just like, you know what? If the robot all of a sudden says that you don't have a reservation, guess what? The robot dinosaur is pretty much always going to be right.
It is kind of cute, but I do like, humans.
I do.
I enjoy them.
You enjoy humans. Who doesn't enjoy humans other than robot dinosaurs?
Yeah.
Someone else that, speaking of, I can't even think of a segue.
That's okay.
Anyways, have you ever had someone tell you that their dog is this when you're like, there's no way your dog is that?
What
Like
do you
someone
mean?
will sit there and go, oh, my dog is clairvoyant, or my dog can understand if someone is bad or not, or something weird, like something like that. Well, I've had people that talk about like their dog is a vegetarian.
Okay.
And so someone went on a UK talk show with their dog Storm. Her name was Lucy Carrington. Brought their dog Storm and claims that my dog has decided to be a vegetarian. All he eats are vegetables. That's all the person does. And so they took him to the test. They said, okay, Storm, we're going to put a big old thing of Alpo and a big old thing of vegetables. And where do you think the dog went? The meat.
Right.
Because it's a dog.
Yeah.
And dogs aren't vegetarians. Dogs are dogs.
You would think that the person, going onto the show that maybe they would have had done something like this before they went on live television.
See, I believe the same thing that when I watch like Jerry Springer, that you'd think that someone would know that if you're on Jerry Springer or you're on Maury Povich, there's a good chance you're not going to win a car.
Yeah.
That something bad's going to happen. You're going to find out that your husband's cheating on you with their babysitter. Something. You're not going to be like, oh, my husband had me on Maury Povich because he's going to announce that he got that new job. No. Something awful is about to happen. The same thing with this. I believe that she had to have known that something was going to happen, but she's just so enamored that she gets to be on television. It's the same reason why anytime you go to a Pirate or a Steeler or a Penguin game and they put you on the Jumbotron, I've never understood why people act like complete idiots when they get put on the big giant screen.
Because it's fun.
I always do. I literally at the Steeler game one time because my Steeler tickets are on the front row. So at least once a game they put me on there, and all I do is just give them the head nod. That's all I do.
You're so cool.
I am so cool. That's how you got to do it. Who cares if I'm on the Jumbotron? I'm not here to be your dancing monkey.
What if they just weren't good vegetables? What
Like
if
the
he's
dog was like, okay, I will stop being a vegetarian because, but I mean, if you're a vegetarian, if it's between like maybe so-so vegetables and the flesh of animals, wouldn't you still go with the so-so vegetables if you are truly a vegetarian?
Well, I think it's the reasons why you're a vegetarian. He might have chosen to be a vegetarian, but it's not like because he doesn't want to eat meat. It's because, like, I don't know, he's a dog and...
You're just trying to justify somehow, some way that a dog could be a vegetarian.
I'm just saying this might not be the things that he's normally fed at home. So he's like, oh, what's this new kind of thing?
Have you ever met a vegetarian?
Yes.
And when you put a big steak in front of them, if you put like a lousy salad next to them, they'd all of a sudden go, oh, well, I guess I got to eat the steak. No, they eat the vegetables.
Yeah, but it's a dog. I'm saying they're not going to know that.
Then
but
they're
like
not. Then the dog's not a vegetarian.
They like to be a vegetarian when there's good vegetables.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying the dog if the person puts good vegetables in front of them, yeah, the dog's going to eat because it's that or starve. But if the owner would just sit there and say, okay, here's a thing of meat, here's a thing of vegetables. If the dog consistently went to the vegetables, maybe then you would ask, okay, maybe my dog has a preference for vegetables, but instead, first time meat gets put in front of him, the dog's like, yeah, I'm eating the meat. Yeah, I'm a dog. I'm eating the meat.
I don't know.
I do. Dogs eat
What was
meat.
the rebuttal after this? Like, what did they talk about after the dog was?
They all made fun of her and she cried.
That didn't happen.
I know. I didn't watch the end of it.
Oh, good.
Anyway, something I did watch is, or I will watch, especially if this is what happens, is the Lindsay Lohan MTV reality show. As I mentioned a couple weeks ago, Lindsay Lohan is going to have a reality show, and it's supposed to be her, and she's running like a club, and the description of it was, watch as a young entrepreneur shows how she deals with the everyday pressures of running one of the biggest and best clubs in the world. I'm like, I don't want to watch that. I want to watch Lindsay Lohan act like a crazy person. That's what's good entertainment. So Lindsay Lohan the last couple weeks has just been doing just really crazy stuff. And as I mentioned before, John McCain is currently dead. And so Lindsay Lohan thought it was smart to post a message. And Alex, would you read said message?
It says, R.I.P. John McCain, feel better, XOXO, and then some prayer hands.
I'm trying to figure, does she feel that like because he's dead now, he's gonna feel better because he's in the company of Jesus?
Maybe she was like, oh, I just don't want him to struggle anymore. Now he's good.
You've been to several funerals. Have you ever been to a funeral?
Yeah.
Have you ever? Would you ever go up to the person, like to the wife, and been like, oh well, I hope he feels better? No, that's a terrible thing to say. One time I was very I was 13 years old. My grandfather died, and I was at my grandfather's funeral, and like old ladies were, there because he was old, and like they came up to me and they were all just like, they were saying like old lady things, like, oh well, at least he stopped suffering.
Yeah.
Oh well, at least he's with God now. And I'm 13. I'm just like, yeah, I guess it doesn't feel bad, or he didn't do this. And my grandma came up to me when she heard this and be like, he was in it for a month, and there's no way he feels better now, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, okay. And I'm 13 years old, whatever. There's like certain things you just don't say at funerals. Yeah. What you say at funerals is, hey, sorry for your loss. He's, then you get into do you say, oh, he's in my prayers? Like the other thing is like, you say, well, he's in my thoughts. You're in my thoughts. That's why you say thoughts and prayers.
Right.
You kind of cover both. But I always just go, oh, I'm sorry for your loss. Because that's all you can say. Not, oh, I hope you feel better in death.
Yeah, I typically say that, and then...
You say, I hope you feel better in death?
No, I typically say, sorry for your loss, and then obviously start talking about something else to get their mind off of it.
Mm-hmm. Then you start talking like, you know what? What are some reasons why you think people love me?
That's exactly what I say.
Yeah. And then people are like, I don't know, because you say nice things at funerals.
Yeah. People like me at funerals.
People love Alex at funerals. If you have any funerals that need to be brightened up a little bit, would you go for like someone said, Alex, we got a funeral. It's near your house. It's really depressing. We need some big old vitamin A to get this place just hopping with some positivity. Would you show up?
Sure.
There you go. One of the funniest lines, Chris Rock, he was talking about comedians in cars getting coffee. He goes, when you're like a famous comedian, everyone always asks you to speak. Doesn't matter if it's the worst situation, someone asks you to speak. So he says he was at a person that he almost barely knew's funeral. Like somehow he was there because his wife knew him or whatever. And so they asked him, because he's Chris Rock, to say a few words. And like they're laughing about it. And then he pauses for a second. And he goes, got a few laughs. And that's like the standard for comedians of all point. It's just like, you know what, if you put me in a bad situation like that, then I'll get some laughs. So thank you very much. That is news and notes from the world of gossip, sports, and all kind of good stuff. So we'll be on to our next segment, which is Comment Your Ass Off. Alex, play the theme song.
To the world, say hello to the villain that's been you.
Do we have a few comments today?
We
Alex?
do have a few comments
There
today.
you go. Good.
Mike?
All right. Because that's our promise. If you comment, we'll respond. Even if it's like during the week, we respond to them.
Ed said, I love the Alex show featuring Mike.
You know what? If we
people
had a
do
new
love
logo,
me.
we can do that.
Sam asked, what was your favorite part of the John McCain funeral?
The favorite part?
Yeah, your favorite part.
Bush giving Michelle Obama the mint. That was a good moment.
Oh, cute.
It was a cute moment. It was about bipartisanship. It was about togetherness. It was about people giving each other mints.
He also
I'm
said...
assuming it was a mint or a Werther's Original, some sort of hard candy, I'm assuming.
Maybe it was jugs. You don't know.
Maybe it was a pill. I don't know. Who knows?
Sam also said, should more celebrities turn their funerals into a mini-series?
Maybe. I think more celebrities should just make sure they make more money, even in death. That's one of the things that Elvis and Marilyn Monroe got it right is, you know what? You got to keep making the cash after you're dead. That's when the big time bucks come in.
Right. For your family.
Or just, maybe in heaven you get to be in rich person's heaven because you got more money.
Oh. I guess we'll see.
Yep.
Ed said, Bruce! My first big concert was Bruce Springsteen, 1986, Born in the USA tour at Three Rivers Stadium. When the boss walked out on stage, the concrete under my feet was vibrating, and it was kind of scary. And a total blowout. Total blowout.
There you go.
Explosions and everything.
There you go. That's why, you know what? Bruce wasn't big into explosions, but again, that whole Bruce thing, there's a funny joke. When he first hit with Born to Run, he did like the concert for Bangladesh.
Yeah.
And it was in New York where he was huge. Like, there's one thing that says if you're going to see Bruce Springsteen, you don't want to see Bruce Springsteen in L.A. You want to see Bruce Springsteen in Jersey or Pittsburgh or Madison Square Garden or Philly or one of those, like, working class places.
Right.
That's where you want to see him. And so he had just come out, and everybody was just screaming, Bruce, Bruce, Bruce. And so Tom Petty told this story as, like, Lou Reed went up to the performers and said, hey, just so you know, they're not booing you. They're saying Bruce. And one of them looks back and goes, what's the difference?
Jeez. Well, that's a lot.
Yeah, there you go.
Liss says that we should totally try dipping our chicken tenders in soda. She said, dip the chicken. So
maybe we're going to try it.
Maybe there is a thing behind it.
I don't know. Next show, I'm going to bring some chicken tenders and I'll bring some soda and we'll try it.
I think you have to have the right combination, though, so, really pay attention to that.
Like, what do you mean?
I don't know. I feel like root beer could be a good soda.
I don't think she had root beer. This was, I think, just regular old Pepsi.
How do you know what it was, Mike?
Because it was a corporate entity, and root beer is not something that at corporate entities like this is a highfalutin place. This is filled with high-end scumbags at the U.S. Open in New York City. They're not getting root beer.
You don't know that.
I would say they're not getting root beer.
Well, maybe you should find out before you make all these assumptions about their
that's all my
soda
life
selection.
Is. That's all I do is just make wild assumptions and just look confident doing it. That's all my game is.
Krish also said, I don't eat the crust unless you've got some sort of dip around. So,
Krish, I have an issue with that. I'll be honest with you.
You went down a couple points.
I've always liked Liss better, but now that's really now high on the end. But go ahead.
Sam asked, what kind of parting gifts do we give our guests?
Alex gives a lock of her hair, and I give the Mike Sasson Show game, the take-home game. We have the board game. Have you ever played that? The Mike Sasson Show board game? It's a fun game.
Yeah. You just make assumptions about things.
It's called just Mike Makes Assumptions.
Krish agrees with what you said about Louis C.K. He said, well said.
Thank you. Thank you, Krish. And again,
Good job.
September 8th, 7 p.m., Liss and Krish are back from their travels. 4 months they've been across the country representing the good people of Pittsburgh, and you will celebrate with Derek Minto and, of course, all sorts of musical acts. It's going to be a great event. Great event, Alex.
Yep, they said, thanks so much, Mike and Alex. It was great to chat with you. I hope to see you guys Saturday. And there is right below that on our comment section the event, the Facebook event link that you can go to check it out. Tell them that you're going. And we'll also post that this week.
There you go.
So look for that.
It's a beautiful moment, beautiful day. Now, is that all the comments?
Yeah.
All right, now I'm going to do one more comment.
Okay.
I'm going to do this. We haven't had any rock-related material recently.
What?
Dwayne Johnson, The Rock?
Oh.
Okay.
I was like,
You thought that we were like rock and roll?
No.
Or like actual
legitimate
pieces,
rocks.
like Stones and stuff like that?
Yeah.
All right, so I follow The Rock on Instagram.
Yeah.
And so The Rock had a very interesting take, and I thought it was a very nice take, and it related to my life, and hopefully it could relate to yours.
Okay.
This is he has a picture of him in a tunnel, looking all jacked and stuff.
Beautiful.
That's my goal. Like I'm trying to like lose weight and trying to get bigger. My goal would be to look like that. We're about the same height. I think I could do it.
You'll get there.
Except I have hair. Here's The Rock. He goes, dreams ain't just for dreamers, especially the ones that don't come true. Good to stand in one of the most famous stadium tunnels in the world that leads to gridiron dreams. I dream of walking down this tunnel and playing in the NFL. After what I felt was a lifetime of commitment and hard work, I failed to make it, and that dream never came true. Stood in this tunnel and had a good, sobering laugh with myself. I thought, hell, if I had been a little bit better of a player, made 5 more tackles and a sack per game, and my life would have been drastically different. Just wasn't meant to be, and more important, just wasn't playing the right game. Raising a grateful glass of tequila to dreams that don't come true.
Aw.
Again, I found it, I always have like this little thought in my head anytime I meet someone who's like 6'7", or 6'8", because I always sit there and be like, if I was your height, I might have played in the NFL for like 5 years. And I always sit there and think to myself, like, what would my life have been different if I would have played in the NFL for 10 years, or if I would have gone to, a different school, or if I would have done all this kind of stuff. Maybe what will my life be, or all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But you know what? More recently, I've sat there and went, you know what? I don't think it would have turned out as good as this path is going to turn out. And so one of the things I think I would say to anybody out there, and hopefully, you're chasing some sort of dream, but I would say that understand if it doesn't come true, maybe there's a reason why, because what is actually going to be happening is going to be a lot better. Because if I had played in the NFL, there's a good chance never would have met Alex and not had the greatest internet radio show in the history of mankind. It's the Mike Sasson Show. So thank you, everyone who listens. Thank you to everyone who watches. Again, keep listening to The River's Edge at www.riversedgepgh.com. Again, this Saturday, September 8th, 7 p.m., Ham Bones. Go watch Krish and Liss. They're going to be making the laughs, making the music, and also comedy later that day. So you got to just spend your whole day at Ham Bones. It's a wonderful place. Again, thank you very much to Alex Clemens, producer extraordinaire. My name's Mike Sasson. We'll see you next week. Bye.